very good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Sunday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. We'll get you all the top stories. Let's get started. Asaduddin Owaisi, leader of the AIMIM, has raised concerns over Indian border negotiations with China. He cited an official source stating that Chinese patrols would be allowed in Arunachal Pradesh region as before and not be blocked. Owaisi has accused the Modi government of concealing crucial details and even compromising India's territorial claims, further expressing concerns about concessions in Depsang, a strategically vital area where he claims the PLA, which is the Chinese army, will gain access. Previously denied, he stated, and I quote, "The status quo on the border has been altered by China, and the Modi government has meekly accepted this," unquote, calling for transparency. Owaisi demanded a white paper on the border crisis and a 3-day parliamentary debate, emphasizing that the citizens have a right to know the government's actions since 2020. He even questioned why the government misrepresents the situation when buffer zones would remain in Ladakh and no de-escalation has occurred. Further, he asked the reason behind the desperation from Prime Minister Modi, who promised to show red eyes to Xi Jinping. Owaisi's remarks reflect growing opposition concerns about India's handling of border tensions. In wake of a deadly terror attack in Bhutapatri region, our security forces have launched an extensive search operation. Senior Superintendent of Police in Baramulla said that 3 to 4 terrorists are believed to be involved in the terror attack which occurred on Thursday evening. The SSP claimed that they've been conducting a comprehensive combat operation in forests from Baba Reshi to Gulmarg and surrounding areas. According to him, multiple input-driven search operations have also been launched in the area to track down the assailants. As security forces continue with the operations, local authorities are urging residents to remain vigilant. In other news that we are tracking, MVA constituent Samajwadi Party has announced that it would field 20 to 25 candidates for the Maharashtra Assembly elections if the opposition bloc does not end seat-sharing talks with smallest parties by Saturday. In fact, till yesterday, speaking with reporters after the meeting with NCP SP President Sharad Pawar, SP leader Abu Azmi accused the Congress of deceiving his party in the past. Azmi even said that the Samajwadi Party has also staked a claim on Baikula and Versova seats. The Samajwadi Party has already fielded candidates on 5 seats and has sought several more, further stating that they do not want the MVA to break and the votes to be divided, but if their requirements are not met, they would be contesting alone, and that is going to be the only option left. He further hit out at the Congress over its state leaders frequently going to Delhi to meet the party brass to address the seat-sharing issue with other parties of the MVA.
ये सीटों का बंटवारा तो इलेक्शन के अनाउंसमेंट के पहले हो जाना चाहिए। जब पहले से महाविकास अघाड़ी बनी हुई है, इंडिया अलायंस बनी हुई है, तो फिर कन्फ्यूजन किस बात का। लेकिन हमारा आपस में अगर सीटों की खींचातानी होगी, मैं समझता हूँ ये बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। हमें भी शामिल किया गया है महाविकास अघाड़ी में। मैंने 5 सीटें अनाउंस किया है और 5 सीटें ऐसी हैं जो कि मैं ही चुन के आ सकता हूँ, या तो फिर हमारी जो अपोजिट पार्टी है वही चुन के आ सकती है।
The ongoing pollution crisis in the national capital has intensified as toxic foam continues to form on the surface in the river Yamuna. That has raised health concerns among the Delhi residents. The situation has escalated recently when BJP had a leader who was hospitalized at RML nursing home due to breathing difficulties with skin irritation. He took a dip in the polluted river to protest against the rising pollution levels and was discharged later on Saturday evening. Sachdev's symbolic act aimed to criticize the party, the Aam Aadmi Party, for allegedly misusing 3,000 crore rupees funds that were allocated for cleaning of the Yamuna River. Shazia Ilmi even pointed to alarming levels of air pollution, with the air quality index at 237, placing it in the poor category. In response to the criticism, Delhi minister has accused the BJP of contributing to the pollution menace and emphasized the need for collaborative efforts to find solutions to the problems in the national capital.
जाकर आम आदमी पार्टी की सफलताओं की और निष्कर्मता की माफ़ी मांगी और ये संकल्प लिया है कि आगामी चुनाव में जैसे ही यहाँ पर भाजपा की डबल इंजन की सरकार होगी तो पहले कैबिनेट डिसीजन में ही यमुना जी की सफाई के लिए एक ट्राइब्यूनल गठित किया जाएगा। बहुत बड़े बड़े वादे माननीय केजरीवाल जी ने यमुना जी की सफाई को लेके करे थे, लेकिन यमुना जी आज और भी ज्यादा मलिन है।
India has slammed Pakistan's mischievous provocation and political propaganda during a Security Council meet on women, peace and security, saying that the condition of women belonging to minority communities, notably Hindus, Sikhs and Christians in the country remains deplorable. Harish even delivered India's statement at UNSC open debate on women building peace in a changing environment in a strong right of reply to Pakistan, which raised the issue of Kashmir in this debate. Harish called it, the envoy said that it has been completely misplaced to indulge in such political propaganda at this important annual debate. Further saying that according to Pakistan Human Rights Commission, thousands of women from those minority communities are subject to abduction, forced conversions and forced marriages every year. At the debate, India reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to women, peace and security agenda in the country.
We are well aware that the condition of women belonging to minority communities, notably Hindus, Sikhs and Christians in that country, remains deplorable. An estimated 1,000 women of these minority communities, as per data of the Human Rights Commission of that particular country, are subject to abduction, forced religious conversions and forced marriages every year. Anyway, I could go on, but I end here. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, the Waqf Board's extensive claims across India have ignited protests and legal disputes that have prompted many to declare Waqf emergency. Farmers in Karnataka have been alleging conspiracies to seize their land, with the board claiming ownership of 15,000 acres in Vijayapura. The BJP has accused the Congress government of facilitating the dispossession of Hindu farmers. In Kerala, the board has claimed over 400 acres in a village, threatening the livelihood of more than 600 families. Similarly, in Madhya Pradesh district, the Waqf Board has claimed 47 government buildings and that has sparked legal battles with the state authorities. Uttar Pradesh also has been seeing the Waqf Board claiming historic Shivalaya Temple in Lucknow, which has led to massive protests from local residents. In fact, in J&K, a Hindu family has also been ordered to vacate a home they've been living in since 1947 due to Waqf Board claim that has raised fears about community stability. The Waqf Board's assertions also extend to Gujarat and Telangana, where municipal and agricultural lands are under dispute. As claims continue to unfold, calls for legislative reform to protect citizens' rights have only been growing.
Waqf Act amendment is brought only for this purpose, and majority of the poor Muslims are also suffering because of the present provisions in the Waqf Act. That's why whatever has happened in Vijayapura, it cannot be accepted. It is happening in many parts of the country, many parts of the Karnataka. Almost all of them in the Vijayapura, farmers have received the notice, which cannot be accepted.
All right, so those were all the top stories that we've been tracking. Let's now take a look at the business stories that we're tracking in this edition. Prime Minister Modi has reaffirmed the government's dedication to providing future-ready and globally relevant skills training, stressing on policies aimed at empowering the youth of the country. The commitment was highlighted in a message for the skill convocation ceremony that was held on Saturday. In his address, Prime Minister Modi expressed confidence that India's young professionals will significantly impact the global workforce and contribute to the country's ambition of becoming the world's third largest economy, further noting that India has been increasingly recognized as a hub of skilled talent due to the expertise and scale of its youthful workforce. Jayan Chaudhary, the Minister for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, also addressed the gathering, noting that India's skill ecosystem comprises of a vast network of 15,000 industrial training institutes, IITs that have maintained their credibility over the years. Honda Cars India has issued a voluntary recall of 90,000 466 cars over faulty fuel pump This is regarding 40 fuel pump in the country. As per the auto manufacturer, the fuel pumps that were installed in the affected vehicles may contain defective impellers. As a result of this, these defective fuel pumps could result in engine stopping or not cranking, according to Honda Cars campaign. It will also cover 2,204 older vehicles that have already had this part changed as a spare. The recall campaign from Honda Cars consists of all the major models, new and discontinued. This recall impacted vehicles were manufactured between September 2017 to June 2018. As per the company, all the replacements of the concerned parts will be carried out at the Honda Cars India dealerships across India, and the customers will not be charged any cost for the replacement. In other news that we are tracking, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company has suspended shipments to China-based chip designer after a chip it made was found on a Huawei AI processor. Sobgo had ordered chips from TSMC that had matched the one found on Huawei's Ascend 910B. The people said Huawei is restricted from buying the technology to protect US national security. It had ordered chips from TSMC and had matched Huawei's Ascend 9110B. However, the contention arises as Huawei is restricted from buying the technology that protected the US national security. The US Department of Commerce said it was aware of the reports of potential violations of US export controls but could not comment on whether any investigation has been ongoing or not. Foreign institutional investors have withdrawn a staggering rupees 20,000 crore rupees in Indian equities this week, which has led to 2.5% decline in Nifty and Sensex indices. Data from the National Stock Exchange, which is the NSE, indicated that this week's selling is part of a broader trend, with October witnessing one of the largest sell-offs in recent years. Between October 21st till the 25th, FIIs have been aggressively reducing their exposure to Indian markets, contributing to cumulative net selling of over 149 crore for the month. This level of outflow surpasses the selling pressure experienced during both the pandemic and the 2008 global financial crisis. As a result of this, cumulative net FII's investment in India for 2024 has fallen to just 14,820 crore rupees. A federal jury has ruled in favor of Apple in a patent infringement case against Massimo, determining that earlier versions of the health company's smartwatches violated two of Apple's design patents. The jury awarded Apple just $250 in damages, the statutory minimum, while also concluding that Massimo's current smartwatch models did not infringe on Apple's patents. The case, part of a broader intellectual property dispute, focused on Massimo's WI and Freedom models. Apple's legal team sought an injunction against Massimo's smartwatch sales, but Massimo welcomed the verdict, highlighting that it favored them on nearly all issues and pertained only to a discontinued module and a charger. ICICI Bank, which is India's largest private sector lender, has reported a net profit of 11,746 crore for the quarter ending September last year, which is a 14.5% increase from 10,261 crore during the same period last year. This growth in profit was driven by strong loan demand, while the bank's asset quality has improved, with gross non-performing assets NPAs decreasing to 1.97% of total advances, down from 2.15% in the previous quarter and a 2.48% a year ago. And the US has issued a strong warning to Iran after the retaliation by the Israel forces targeting the Iranian terror group. Let's take a look at the other international stories that we are tracking. The foreign ministers of Egypt and Ukraine held a meet in Cairo to address regional conflicts, with Egypt's foreign minister also giving a statement that without a ceasefire in Gaza, there will be no peace or security in the region. In fact, during a press conference, the leader condemned Israel's actions, stating that in the 21st century, policies that starve over 2.2 million Palestinians in Gaza is completely unacceptable. Meanwhile, Ukrainian foreign minister criticized Russia's invasion of Ukraine, asserting that the conflict is not just about Ukraine, but it's crucial for restoring global order based on international law, further confirming that Ukraine is now planning to hold another global peace summit, which will invite Russian representatives.
First of all, I will start that Russia started full-scale aggression, caused several crises, global crises, food security crisis, energy security crisis, only about Ukraine. It's about the restoration world order based on international law, principles of UN Charter.
Crowds took to streets of Tel Aviv again to protest against the government of Benjamin Netanyahu and demand a ceasefire, along with the release of hostages held by the Hamas group. The Palestinian terror group has reiterated that hostages will not be released until a ceasefire deal is struck and Israeli troops withdraw from the Gaza conflict region. The Israel-Hamas war note began on 7th of October last year after Hamas-led terrorists blew holes in Israel's security fence and stormed in, killing over 1,200 people and abducting 250 others. Meanwhile, Israel's offensive in Gaza has killed over 42,000 Palestinians, according to the local health authorities.
We need to finish the war in Gaza. We have achieved all our purposes, and we need to do everything. We need to finish the war and to seal the deal.
Tens of thousands of people marched across various Italian cities on Saturday, calling for peace in Gaza and Ukraine. In Rome, approximately 10,000 demonstrators waved a giant peace flag in front of Colosseum. Organizers, including Italian Disarmament Network and the CGIL labor union, expressed deep concerns over the rising civilian casualties in both conflicts. Protesters even urged the Italian government and the international community to revive a United Nations-led peace conference to address the escalating violence in the region. Israel's military has released footage on Saturday claiming that the troops located and destroyed an underground Hezbollah facility over 1.5 kilometers long, which allegedly stored equipment for hundreds of terrorists. The Israeli Defense Forces stated that they would continue strikes against Hezbollah until it is safe for displaced Israeli citizens near the Lebanon border to return home. Meanwhile, Hezbollah has vowed to keep firing rockets into Israel until a ceasefire in Gaza is achieved. The health ministry in Beirut reported that the total toll from the conflict over the past year has exceeded 2,600 and killed 12,200 others. Search and rescue operations teams were sitting through destroyed buildings following a Russian missile that struck Dnipro on late Friday, which killed 5 people, including a 14-year-old girl. The regional governor said that 21 others were also injured in this attack on a residential area in central Ukraine. The wife and teenager daughter of a local policeman were pulled dead from the rubble of the attack that damaged over a dozen apartment buildings, private houses, and even a medical facility in the region. Pope Francis concluded a year-long reform process for the Catholic Church on Saturday, releasing recommendations that many feel fell short of the hoped for equity for women. While the Pope stated that he would not issue a teaching document based on the recommendations, he called for women to be granted all opportunities permitted by church law, leaving the controversial issue of women being ordained as deacons unresolved. Many women within the church have expressed frustration over being treated as menial citizens, even as they take on the majority of roles in running Catholic hospitals, schools, and even nurturing future generations of faith. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump addressed a rally in Michigan on Saturday, where he hit out at his opponent Kamala Harris for a campaign event in Houston. During Harris' Houston rally, several people in the crowd were escorted away by security for disruptive behavior during a speech. Trump lambasted the Harris campaign for attracting audiences by having celebrities at events that led to the election rally. Trump also attacked Kamala Harris for campaigning with Liz Cheney, a recent member of the Democratic Party. After years serving as a Republican, he addressed the leader as a Muslim-hating warmonger who wants to invade practically every Muslim country on the planet. Trump further took pot shots at Harris by saying that she let other countries loot and plunder people's wealth and American dreams, and called Kamala Harris a train wreck who destroyed everything in her path.
Kamala Harris is a train wreck who has destroyed everything in her path. Kamala is campaigning with Muslim-hating warmonger Liz Cheney, who wants to invade practically every Muslim country on the planet. Her father was responsible for invading the Middle East, killing millions of Arabs, millions. And this is the one that Kamala is campaigning with, and I know Cheney very well. She lost by the biggest margin in the history of the United States.
And for now, we head into a very short break. When we come back, we'll get you all the action that we're tracking from the world of sports and entertainment as well. And Sajid Khan has suppressed England's batting attack inside 3 days and earned Pakistan a long-awaited and series-clinching 9-wicket win in the third and final test. The 38-year-old left-arm spinner Ali and off-spinner Khan had grabbed all 20 wickets on a recycled second test pitch to level the series last week and yet again clipped the batters on an engineered dry surface by sharing 13 wickets as England was dismissed for 112 on day 3. Goalkeeper Bikramjeet Singh showcased nerves of steel, making 3 crucial saves as India outwitted New Zealand by 3-2 in a thrilling shootout to secure the bronze medal at the Sultan of Johor Cup Junior Men's Hockey Tournament. After the match ended in a 2-2 stalemate in regulation time, strikers Gurjot Singh, Malmeet Singh and even Saurabh Anand Kushwaha converted their penalties in the tense shootout, while Bikramjeet made 3 outstanding saves to secure victory against New Zealand. In a major blow to New Zealand women, the star all-rounder Amelia Kerr was ruled out of the ongoing ODI series against India due to an injury. The youngster suffered a left quadriceps muscle injury during the first match in Ahmedabad on Wednesday and would return home to start her rehabilitation. East Bengal kicked off their AFC Challenge League campaign with a thrilling 2-2 draw against Bhutan's Paro FC, salvaging a crucial cup point. The Super Cup champions struck early through Mehdi Talal, who converted Saul Crespo's precise cutback in the 5th minute to put East Bengal in the lead. However, the advantage was short-lived as the home side responded just 3 minutes later with a William Opoku penalty after Evans Asante drew a foul from Anwar Ali in the box. Chris Wood scored twice in a 3-1 win over Midlands rival Leicester in English Premier League. Wood's second half double was hit second, 6 and 7 goals in 9 games. On each occasion, Forest has won or drawn. Friday's win comes just 5 days after Wood scored for Forest to defeat Crystal Palace and sent Nuno Espirito, a buoyant team, from 8th place to 5th in the match. Northeast United FC delivered a sensational performance in front of their home crowd, claiming a resounding 5-0 victory against Jamshedpur FC in the Indian Super League. This victory marks the Highlanders' biggest win in the ICL history and the first time scoring 5 goals in a single match. And time to take a look at the entertainment stories that we're tracking in Sunday's edition of Quick Morning. Let's take a look. 30 years after Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks and Robin Wright premiered their new movie here at the AFI Fest in Los Angeles on Friday. The new movie reunites not only the 2 stars of the Best Picture Oscar-winning 1994 hit, but also director and writer Eric Roth. The new film features a static camera and tells the story of a family over the course of decades from the perspective of a single living room. Reuniting the co-stars reflected on their enduring chemistry after 3 decades. Wright expressed that the connection feels effortless and emphasized how they communicate instinctively as if they were speaking in shorthand, while Hanks added that their bond remains strong despite not having seen each other, often like that of siblings. At the premiere of his latest film, Tom Hanks emphasized the importance of democracy and voting as election day approaches, declaring the right to vote is one of the greatest gifts the United States has been given to the world. Hanks urged everyone to participate in the electoral process, stating that if citizens fail to vote, they lose the right to voice their complaints about the government. The actor underscored voting as a personal responsibility of the citizens in shaping the future of the nation.
Well, I just say there is the greatest gift I think that our country has given to the world has been the institution of our democracy and the right to vote. And everybody has the right to vote, and everybody's got to show up and do it. And if not, then you don't get to complain and you get the government that you deserve. How about that? All right, thanks.
There is speculation doing the rounds that Beyonce would make an appearance at the Democratic National Convention 2 months ago that led up to the event as she joined the Harris campaign at Houston in her hometown. The superstar singer appeared on stage to campaign for Kamala Harris' rally on reproductive rights. At the end, Beyonce was joined on stage by Destiny Child bandmate Kelly Rowland. In other entertainment stories, Grateful Dead founding member of Phil Lesh has died at the age of 84. Lesh was classically trained violinist and jazz trumpeter who found his true calling reinventing the role of rock music's guitarist. He was the oldest and one of the longest surviving members of the band that came to define the 1960s acid rock sound. His thundering arpeggios often played on a six-starring electric brass that entwined with Jerry Garcia's soaring lead guitar solos to give the Grateful Dead a unique, often copied but never duplicated sound. He also co-wrote several Grateful Dead songs, including Box of Rain. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of our broadcast. Stay tuned for all the news breaks that are making headlines in the country and across the globe after this very short break.